So it is election morning 2008. This is the most historical moment of my generation. It may be the one defining moment of my generation. You know, before this, the first major defining moment that I could remember was the Los Angeles riots of the early 90s, in which my grandmother and my uncle had to go out in the front lines and be in the midst of all of that. My grandmother at the time working at a hospital, King Drew Medical Center in the heart of South Central Los Angeles, and my uncle at the time was a firefighter for Linwood Fire Department. So that was my earliest memory of the most important defining moment of our generation. Later on, for me it would be, for most of us, it would be 9/11. And I had been living in New York for a year when 9/11 happened. And that morning, my mother was to fly in from LAX to meet me in New York. Thank God she never boarded her plane. So I was in Manhattan, in Midtown, on Madison Avenue, watching the events of 9/11 unfold right before my eyes. And the next most defining moment for myself and for most people in my generation would be Katrina. It not only exposed the injustices that exist within our society still today, but it also exposed incompetencies that existed in the Bush administration, his inability to act responsibly towards the citizens of this country. My grandfather was in the midst of Katrina. He lived in the Garden District in New Orleans and weathered the storm and survived. Thank God. So here we are at what could be the most defining moment of our generation, where America finally lives up to its creed of being a nation of people who are all born with the same rights and liberties. We are all created equal under God. And the possibilities of having first African American president exist in my lifetime before now was unfathomable. Today, a possibility is at hand, and I'm ready to go cast my vote. Getting ready to go and vote, and you're going to take the walk with me to my polling station that happens to be less than a block away. So let's go. I am so excited. I cannot wait to see the results this evening. And now I'm going to head into Manhattan and see what all my friends are doing with their voting experience. Woohoo! Go Barack!
If there is anyone out who still doubts that America where all things are possible. We're still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time. We still question the power of our democracy. Tonight is your answer. The answer told by lines that stretched around schools and churches in numbers this nation has never seen. By people who waited 3 hours, 4 hours, many for the first time in their lives, because they believed that this time must be different, that their voices could be that difference.
Did you vote today?
Yes, I did. I did. Early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Took an hour and a half.
Yes, I did. I voted today, and it was well worth it. I live in Brooklyn now, but they didn't change my voting place. So I had to come all the way to Harlem in order to vote. But I felt like if I had to stand there until like midnight tonight, I would have stood there and waited to vote because it was that important. And it went fairly quickly, and the line is still literally down the street, and it's pretty late. So hopefully everybody has a chance to vote.
It was interesting. I was very excited. It felt very proud, and I also noticed that even though in my district or the school that I went to vote to, there were a lot of people, and it was very tight space and it looked disorganized, but people were very proper. People were very helpful to each other, explaining which lines they should be in. I was amazed at that in such a difficult situation, because it seemed very disorganized, people were still very civil and helping each other because they knew that, it seemed as though that they knew that we're there for a very big cause.
It was actually great. It was fast. It only took me about 15 minutes, but I went really early. I was there like at 6 a.m. But a friend that went at the same time said it was really disorganized, or I mean a little later. It got really disorganized. But mine was good.
You said it was really important. What is really important for you?
I mean, it's a personal issue. I mean, yes, I did like Hillary Clinton, but I was always a fan of Barack Obama. I mean, obviously for change, we've spent the last 8 years in this country just dealing with nonsense, in my personal opinion, and then we have somebody, and you have an African-American man. I mean, you don't get any more African-American than this guy right here, and I definitely think he's the best candidate. I mean, just think about it, African-American man is this close to becoming a president. My grandfather, who's 80 years old, called me this morning to make sure that I voted, and he was just in tears, and you're talking about a man who never cries, that he thought he would die before something like this would happen, and to live through that, to live in this moment is a big experience for my family as well as myself. So.
I won't keep you long. All I can say is that at 78 years old, I have never in my life seen anything like this. I've never seen my community so excited. I've never seen so many grandmothers and grandparents. I've never seen so many children that feel something even if they may not be mature enough to know what it is. All I know is that with all of the marching and struggling that I did with Dr. King and Adam Powell, I never felt the sense that my country was ready to take the children of slaves and to have them included as the leader of our country in the free world. And I just hope that, unlike me who didn't fully appreciate the history that Dr. King was making with the Voting Rights Act and with the Civil Rights Act, that all of us, certainly not you here because you're here because you feel it, but if you can just share with our children what happened during our lifetime, if you can share with them the feeling of knowing that this great country had shattered the myth that we never could do it, if we could just think of those slave rebels who said that they were going to fight back, and the many faceless people who died for our right to vote, And to know that on top of this mountain of African American strength, that we have someone that will become president of the United States and the leader of the free world. We're going to walk so much taller no matter where we work or live, and people all over the world would feel that America has done what they never thought we could do. So congratulations to you, because you're here because you have that feeling. And I can tell you that we cannot wait in the Congress with a strong House of Representatives. And you've given me the opportunity to once again share as the chairman of this Ways and Means Committee. And a filibuster type of proof that we have in the Senate. My brothers and my sisters, there's no excuse for this great country not to be able to do better. Thank you for your support.
I think I saw the historical component, the impact, how big or innovating, I'm at the loss of words. Ever since Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were up for running, even then I was thinking, oh my God, this is just a big moment in history in the United States where a woman and an African American man are, it's sad that they were at odds with each other, but yes, it's a very big impact. The country is ready. The country is ready for change. The country is ready to see some different colors, some different genders, some different things.
It's the answer spoken by young and old, rich and poor, Democrat and Republican, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, gay, straight, disabled and not disabled. Americans who send a message to the world that we have never been just a collection of individuals or a collection of red states and blue states. We are and always will be the United States of America.
Okay, let's go vote aquí.
All right.
Are you ready, Miss Lady?
Sure.
To vote? To practice your right?
I didn't look up all the local people, but mostly I'm just going to vote along party lines.
So, how do you feel right now going to the poll and being a participant in this historic election?
Well, it doesn't feel that different than the last time I was here, because that was for the primaries. We'll see what happens. I'll be more nervous tonight.
So what are the main issues that you felt were important to you while you were voting? Like what was your main concern with the candidates?
It was mainly the economy, but I really wanted somebody to be truthful and honest, and Obama stayed with the issues at hand, whereas McCain just whatever he thought that was going to get him elected, choosing a woman as vice president, not even knowing what she stood for, what she believed in. But he just wanted a woman as vice president to get all the Hillary Clinton votes, whereas Obama just stood for the issues, and that has changed when you just tackle the issues and don't try to sway with people's emotions and don't try to play into people's emotions and just stick with the issues. And
the war, lives are being lost. That's the biggest concern for me. Just human life is precious. It has no cause. It's no reason. If we should be at war, shouldn't we be in Afghanistan looking for Bin Laden? To me, the main issue is war. I want the troops out.
Well, I think we need to get out of Iraq sooner rather than later. I think that's extremely important. I think that Afghanistan has been basically ignored for too long at this point. Barack Obama has the right idea. Let's, seal things up in Iraq as much as possible and then move on to Afghanistan. Because right now, we just have too many troops in Iraq to actually pay enough attention to Afghanistan. So that was a big thing. The other thing is that I really approve of Obama's tax plan of reducing taxes for people and small businesses earning less than $250,000. I think that makes sense. McCain is all in favor of cutting taxes for, like, Exxon. I mean, do they really need that?
Everything seems to try to turn that blue state, a state that has been blue for 20 years, red. They knew it was the line. They had said over the past week or so that their internal numbers did see that it was closing a little bit. Public polling, I think, did reflect that as well.
What was the question?
The question is, what's the first thing that the president-elect has to do as he's beginning this transition?
This is amazing. We are in the middle of Square right now, just enjoying the victory and just having a good time celebrating. We have voted, the people of this country and the people of the world have spoken and said, we want change.
It's the answer that led those who've been told for so long by so many to be cynical and fearful and doubtful about what we can achieve, to put their hands on the arc of history and bend it once more toward the hope of a better day. It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Our remember growing up and writing the letters that, oh, you know, I could be president one day. And even though we wrote about it and we talked about it in the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, I really didn't think it could happen for me and anybody else that looked like me. But these kids are living in this moment. Even though they couldn't vote for it, you know, on paper, they have an opportunity to be Americans and like to really feel the American dream, because somebody at the top of the ladder looks like them and understands them, and it's just a blessing for them to live in this moment. And I really want them to understand that.
And without words, how proud I am to be here to witness this. How I feel like our generation has stepped up to the plate and will bring about retribution to all the generations who came before us, who suffered and sacrificed through slavery and Jim Crow and civil rights, those who died so that we could have this opportunity or this chance to experience being anything we want to be in this nation.